Hello and welcome to the latest episode of Schnozzcast, number 158 for Saturday, January. Starts with a J. 29, 2022. This is Bob, joined by my phenomenal co-hosts, Cory Schnozzcast, Nick Bader, Todd Dillon, and special guest, James Crabby Pappas. Gentlemen, how are you?
Top of the evening, sir.
Crabby?
What up, doe?
Welcome back, sir.
Thanks for having me back. Good to be back.
Todd Dillon?
Shazam!
Switching up, I see.
I like the switch up. All right, so let's just jump right into it because I feel like we got a lot to get through tonight. So,
Cory Schnozzcast, how are you, sir?
Oh, hey!
I can see you wasn't going to say anything.
Yeah, thank you.
sometimes you got to keep Cory on his toes. Plus,
hey,
last
when he's
time
late,
he told me
you shouldn't get announced.
he told me he wasn't waiting for me.
Wow.
I wasn't the trigger for that. So
Yeah.
I'm like, all right.
So I thought you learned, but apparently not.
I don't learn, Cory.
He was
50 fucking 2. You don't learn at 52.
Did you hear that? He was winding up that hay, too. He was really ready for somebody to, somebody
there
look at me.
There was a bit of indignance mixed in there, too, about like, how dare he go into housekeeping? I haven't got my hay out yet.
And you're 52. You forget shit after 50.
100%.
Bob was forgetting
What's your name
shit
again?
at 32.
What's your name again?
Not James, I can tell you that.
Looks like Nick brought a friend over tonight.
Not James.
It's not James?
No.
Jimmy James?
It's Jimmy.
Jimmy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was James for like 30 seconds.
For 30 seconds? You're saying your legal name is Jimmy?
The legal name is James for about 30 seconds, though. It got written on that card, and it's never been said again. So.
No, what?
And Dimitri, if you want to call me my Greek name, Jimmy.
Bob, you are so shocked. You have a son named John that you call Jack. No one calls him John.
Yeah, his mother does. Every now and again.
Yeah.
When he's in trouble. Your mom said
Does your
James
mom?
when you were in trouble, didn't
No.
she?
No?
Absolutely not.
Really?
No.
Hey, fucko, put that down.
No, full first and middle name.
Really?
James David.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
so-
that was a part of
That
it.
thing includes.
So she would
Yeah.
use James.
Yeah, that still counts.
Yeah. Nice try,
100%
Not in my
counts.
book.
James.
She never said James. No, see, that
She
sounds
just did
different.
say
She
James.
said James or James David. James David, and it was always wait till your father comes home and I do whatever.
All right.
She said.
That,
So
that is a
for the rest-
slippery slope to be clinging on to there,
for the
Crabby.
rest of the night.
oh, I'm not
it's
clinging.
JD.
I'm sitting there surfing without grabbing onto anything. It's
You would
James
think-
David, not
You would
James.
think that we weren't happy to have him back the way that he's being treated now, but we are actually happy to have him back.
Welcome back,
It's
JD.
great to be back.
Even if it
got
makes no sense.
We got you, Crabby. This is just to make fun of you the entire 2 hours.
Well, it's great to be here.
Hey, you know what? I would let you do that, Cory. The shit you got to take from this crew the entire time, I will let you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Hold
absolutely.
on. hold
I've
on,
not
hold
ever
on.
heard any shit given to TT.
Yeah.
No, we don't give the Taoist tortoise too much. Not too much.
I dare say some of that's self-inflicted.
No, and there's reasons.
I agree, but-
There's reasons why. If one of us is laid into the other too much, we'll hear about it after the show. So
Yeah, oh,
we've
yeah.
learned our lessons,
You-
and that goes around the whole circle.
You can cut a man down to size, but there's going to be some blowback
Yeah.
later on.
Yeah.
All right, if you're new to the podcast, welcome. Thank you for joining us. You can find us here every weekend. We're published on Fridays, so please find us out on the streaming services, iTunes, Podbean, Spotify, Amazon Music, Pandora, or anywhere else we can get a podcast. Give us a like and subscribe so you'll know when we launch the episode and release it to the world. Mm-hmm. Out on social media, you can find us out on Instagram, on Facebook, and YouTube at Schnozzcast. And if you consider yourself a writer, you can send us an email at schnozzcast@gmail.com and give us a request for your relationship advice. Oh, man. If we had a relationship advice segment that was hosted by Crabby and Todd,
Oh God. Divorce rate would go up
I
to 60%.
actually I smell a huge I smell a huge partnership there on TikTok between you guys.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We're gonna iron that out after the show, or you can also call or text us at 618 Shocker.
Oh, the chocolate. Baby.
It's got sauce on it now.
Yeah, it does.
That had some zip.
I was just thinking about how interesting a rap battle would be between Todd and Crabby, like an old school.
Wouldn't last long. I got game, but it's short game.
Yeah?
It's not a long game.
Short game?
I only got a few.
That's what the ladies say.
Sprinter, not a runner.
Well, let me play. Hold on, let me play you some of our theme music, and maybe that you might come out on top.
It'd be a very Run DMC heavy too, by my part.
Hold on, where's the Funko this button?
And again, Corey, I heard the short game. I'm Greek. There's no short game in my ethnicity. You can ask around.
I was not the one that said that. That was Bob.
Corey. That was me.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
That
Corey.
wasn't me.
It's a nice hat, Bob.
Watch
Sorry,
what you
Corey.
say, okay?
Yeah. Sorry.
All right, Crabby, you got a box sitting over there by your feet.
Yes.
Want to pick that up? Yep,
picked it up.
That's the one.
Hand it to Cory.
Open her up. Crabby has been one of our biggest supporters, and not just as a guest necessarily, but in some of the ways that we really need support, which is, suggestions for how to improve the show.
Critical analyst.
A lot of which we've implemented, and we all think has made us a better show to this day. So,
Got a poop knife, Corey? You know, never mind.
I was going to say, I do have a knife.
I know you do. That's not a knife.
So we wanted to get you something from the show, just to say thanks, and because it was Christmas recently.
Oh, thanks.
So yeah,
Even though you couldn't make it last week, but I guess we're still giving you presents.
Yeah, that was the booster shot that did me in last week.
Who wrapped the damn thing? Get to it.
Fantastic. Brilliant ideas I had while drinking bourbon. Outstanding.
all right. So for the audio listeners, that's to you, Crabby. It is a
Ale is a book that says brilliant ideas I had while drinking bourbon. And I can't hold out till later to.
no. You got to open it up.
Yeah, I'm going in. I am
Do
opening.
you think it's someone else's brilliant ideas while they're drinking bourbon?
Oh, this isn't all mine? It's pretty thick. I figured it was mine.
It is
I
yours.
thought you guys just recorded it. Oh, damn it. I thought they were already in there from the things you've heard me say over the past.
Oh man!
Now I just write them down.
You're just gonna write them down, right? You're gonna take them when you go on the road.
Outstanding.
And you're driving with one hand on the wheel. Sorry, your knees on the wheel, and the other hand with the phone, and your right hand holding a
Hey, I've done it
Chipotle
before.
order,
I've
and
done-
eating while you're driving 75
I've
miles
done
an
it
hour.
before because back in the day before there were GPSs, that other hand had a Rand McNally Road Atlas in it.
One of those hands is going to have a feather with some ink, so.
Yep. Put that inkwell right in the cup holder,
Yep.
and you'll be all set.
Are you kidding me? By next week, I'll have this turned into an app, and I'll just be doing it with voice.
I'm telling you, I will set you up with the finest seagull feather.
The finest.
One with some real color on the end of it.
Right out of your backyard.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Finest Dearborn Heights seagulls.
Oh, yeah, I love it. Flying rat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Outstanding.
We knew you'd like it.
Oh, that's great.
All right.
Made my night, and I think I'll have a drink of bourbon.
Oh, let's do that. So, what are we drinking tonight, fellas? New mini segment at Crabby's suggestion. Crabby, you got what?
I have a fine 8-year Jim Beam Black on the rocks.
And is that so? You don't have a shot separate from that. That is just what you're.
That's what I
guzzling.
drink. Yeah, that is the shot.
All right, Corey.
Real quick to clarify. So you have a bottle of Maker's Mark in front of you and a bottle of Jim Beam.
But I'm drinking the Jim Beam.
So you're drinking the Beam and the Maker's Mark is for shots?
No. The Jim Beam Black I left here last time. And I know that this place does like to consume some alcohol, and there are people that come over to consume alcohol. So I wasn't quite sure if it'd still be here.
Corey,
So I brought a little.
it's kind of like if you put a full pizza on the table in front of you and just eat broccoli and look at the pizza, and you're like, oh, this is going to be delicious.
It tastes like Maker's Mark.
You're just fooling yourself. This is what he's doing.
I get it. Makes sense.
That's the backup. That's like, the backup parachute when you're skydiving. That's what it is.
There's supposed to be a backup when you're skydiving?
That's the back. Okay, Cory.
No wonder why it was a cheap skydiving adventure.
Other than a 2-foot step ladder, I don't think you go any higher than that. So I don't think you should be.
I'd go skydiving.
No, you wouldn't.
In a heartbeat.
Your knees buckle looking off the side of a building.
Wait, hold on. Yeah, you would go skydiving?
Yeah, because I know I have a parachute.
Do you?
It's a whole different.
Hold on. If you went to the top of a building with a parachute,
I'd be fine.
Well, okay, that's the only thing that was missing, Nick.
No,
it was a parachute.
No. I don't.
That
buy it.
or I need to be secured to something like a.
I don't buy it. Like a burly man.
I've been parasailing 3 times.
You are a goddamn onion, Cory Slesky. So many layers.
I try.
Yeah, and the more I open up, the more I cry.
Buy
the man
Just-
a
just,
parachute
hey, pump the
and make
brakes
him
for a
wear it around
second.
all the time.
And parasailing, dude, parasailing ain't even close to skydiving.
And you're over water.
I'm talking
Yeah.
about. I'm referring to the heights aspect of it though, because and just to your point, skydiving is not like standing on the top of a 8-foot building or parking structure. So.
8 foot.
I'm sorry, 8th story.
Not many people live inside of it.
8th story.
I'm like, I don't think you're gonna be able to skydive, bro.
Yeah, that would be a bad idea.
Todd,
I've
you
got
should
an
say that.
8-foot ceiling.
Todd, after the drop ceiling and the carpet, you really don't have much room in there.
My bad.
I don't know, but Cory don't skydive. I don't see how that ends up well at all.
I said I would love to go skydiving.
Yeah, don't do it.
I could just see too. I could just see too. Cory's like,
Don't do it.
Yeah, this is amazing. I got a really good deal on this one too. This company doesn't get a lot of business, so they're doing a sale.
That's where that one parachute comes in.
yeah,
They give it to you halfway down.
Yeah.
give her more gas.
It makes sense though. I could see Cory nuts to butts with another dude jumping out of a plane.
Nothing you haven't seen before, Todd.
Nothing
I don't
I
know
haven't
if our
seen before.
relationship
Sir.
segment's going to be very good, Todd, to be honest with you. We're going to have to X-nay on that TikTok.
Could you imagine the like the scary flatulence that Cory would let out going down though? That poor man.
Dude, that was my booze news story I had
Strapped
teed
behind
up.
him.
Well, it scared it right out of me.
I'd be good.
You wouldn't smell it. It would just
That's
whiz
what I was
right
waiting
past
for.
his face.
I'll be fine.
That'd be fine.
Yeah.
You should do it on the day of your wedding.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Skydive
If
right
you're gonna
down
do
into
it-
the church.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'll work that out somehow.
Yeah, we'll have a backup.
I mean, you got to do
Thanks.
something for this wedding, right?
And it's a
Other than
church, so they
bankrolling
can
it.
open both doors.
Oh, sweet. As long as they can open both of them.
Well, I'm just saying.
I was worried only one was going to
A
open.
bigger
Front and
target,
back.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and worst case scenario, they have a wedding and a funeral.
Perfect.
2 for 1.
Yes. Oh. Yes. Because Danielle doesn't care who she married. She's getting married that day. It doesn't matter.
Something's happening at that altar. Something's going to
Getting
happen.
married that day.
I do not doubt that by any means.
Wait, is that when the best man's supposed to like slide over into place? Because, hold on.
Oh.
I'm not sure she.
You could see Danielle's
Yeah.
little bulging bicep as she carried Cory, and there was light beaming underneath the gummies that he was wearing that day as she drug him down to the aisle.
All right, let's do a little booze news.
And now it's time for booze news.
Okay, I know I got one. I'm going to dish it off to Nick when I'm done. So mine is how an apartment balcony became one of Italy's best-known stages. In Italy, early in 2020, when the pandemic hit, there were some videos that flew around the world of Italians coming out to sing on their balconies at the start of the pandemic. A lot of them were made to stop by the government, but unlike them, Christian and Spada have survived, and they've thrived amidst the pandemic and the legal challenges that have threatened to silence all musicians. They, in Italy, they first turned their balcony into a stage more than 10 years ago. So way pre-pandemic, they were already doing this. Every Sunday afternoon, they would go out to perform their own unique punk opera mix or to host local other artists. And it started as a fun experiment for them, but it became something much more for the couple and the community around them. They would get thousands of people that attend these concerts over the last decade, and their apartment looks out into a little square. And the only way that you can get into the square is to knock on the door. So you have to be the person. You have to go at the allotted time every Sunday, and they'll let you in one by one, and the square just fills up, and then they do a 90-minute show. So it was, a simple event that started pre-pandemic, but then it sort of became something that was an institution to the local community in that neighborhood. Right before the pandemic, they were fined more than $1,300 for exceeding the decibels allowed in the area by singing too loudly. So they fought it. They were charged by the city prosecutor's office for disturbing the public peace, which is a crime in Italy. And then they paid a fine, but they continued to do it. It was just somebody who was complaining. So finally, when the pandemic hit, they decided that they needed to keep this going. And they have a lawyer who's helping them out. A lot of their neighbors came forward and said, hey, this is a victory for our community. Having a singer as a neighbor is valuable, just like having a neighbor who is a dentist. And that's how the Italians look at it. They've been supported by concertgoers as well as other musicians, artists, poets, writers, and intellectuals in the city. And it's become a very important project for them. So there are a lot of videos that you can go and see out on YouTube. You can search for them underneath Spada, S-P-A-D-A, and Kristen, C-R-I-S-T-A-N. And they're still doing those Sunday concerts today. And they get tons and tons of people who flock to the courtyard to listen to him play. That's some booze news of the week, fellas.
That's it?
That's it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Because you started by saying, I got some booze news, but I'm going to hand it over to Nick.
When I'm done.
Then okay. All
followed
right.
it up with the words, when I'm done.
It must have been
And then launched into talking.
It must have been like, when I'm done. Anyhow, so that's booze news, apparently. So I have a booze news as well from NPR. This actually happened last February, but as we are on the coattails of February, I thought it was interesting to read about. 3 dead and hundreds injured after storms rouse scorpions in Egypt. 3 people are dead and hundreds are injured after inclement weather roused hordes and hordes of venomous scorpions out of their hiding places and into the streets and homes in Egypt. Vicious rain, dust storms, and snow in the southern city of Aswan at that time, this says last week, drove out scorpions as well as snakes. This is like my worst nightmare.
Yep.
Al-Ahram, a government-run Egypt newspaper, reports that 3 people have died from scorpion stings and 450 people have been injured by the stings thus far. BBC News reports, citing an unnamed health official. Those who have been injured are being treated with anti-venom in hospitals as well as in medical centers that are located in some remote areas, even called doctors who were on vacation to help treat the influx of patients. In the meantime, residents were being asked to stay inside their homes. Ashraf Atiyah, Aswan governor, also limited traffic for some time, closing local highways to prevent accidents due to people skidding on the dead carcasses of the scorpions and snakes. Scorpion stings can be lethal, the Egyptians had said, and the fatal scorpion species found throughout northern Africa in particular has been described as one of the most deadly in the world in that specific region. I thought that was kind of crazy because I think that would be enough for me to move.
So enough to move. The story would have read if I lived there for 1 minute. But if you thought that was bad, when a man named Todd Dillon burned down the entire city,
Yeah.
I'm like, I told myself back. I'm like, no fucking way. I'm like, the first time I saw a scorpion or snake in my house, I would burn that fucker to the ground. And if I saw a scorpion going into my neighbor's house, I would repeat.
So Todd, when I went down to the Keys with my family, I think I was like, I don't know, like 15, 16, something like that. And we stayed in this house, and the whole house is white, and our whole family was staying there. All windows, white tiles, and it was just, you could tell it was a summer location house. And it was freezing inside, but it was like 89 degrees and humid outside. So within like the first, I think, 6 hours of being there, I was kind of tooling around the house, and I picked up a book that was in like the little book cubby next to the couch. And it's like things to watch out for while you're in the Florida Keys. And it's like tarantulas, scorpions, snakes. And it's going through. I'm like, tarantulas? They have tarantulas? And my dad, being honest able, he's like, it could happen. Of course they're here. He could have just said, no, you're not going to run into any of that. So that same day, I'm looking at all that. I go back to the room, and you're having to close the doors as quickly as possible because chameleons run inside the house every time you open the door.
Oh, yeah.
Run up the sides of the walls, which I was okay with that. We go in the room, and I go to move my suitcase, and this cockroach, about 5 times the size of a normal cockroach, with antenna that were probably about 6 inches long.
Sitting there smoking a cigar.
Two of them.
How's it going?
Two of them. You know there's a cover charge. 2 of them scurry out from under my bag, and I fucking lose it. I'm like, what the fuck? They're in here. My dad's like, oh, those are palmetto bugs. We had them when I was in the Navy when I was stationed in Florida. And I'm like, so basically the long and the short of it was they are just large cockroaches. And I'm like, calling it a palmetto bug is not going to sound any sweeter.
It softens the blow a little bit.
It actually does soften it a little bit.
So I remember, like, I'm like, I just gotta go outside. So I went outside. We did a little fishing, and we were on this canal. There was a berm, and then there was the ocean. So we're going through all the if this then that with my dad, as I normally did, because I asked a lot of questions, and I'm like, so the sharks aren't in this part of the water right here, right? He's like, well, it could be. It's just considered brackish. So really, you could have sharks and alligators. And I'm like, oh my
Did
God.
your dad entertain every question you had?
And
in
I'm
that
like,
way?
so then the sharks
Well,
are out
son.
there, but they're not here.
Anything's possible.
So we're catching these little tangs and stuff like that, and we pull in a barracuda, and the teeth are all out, and I'm like, so I'm right almost at my boiling point of being scared, you know.
Did he follow that up with, oh, that's just like a muskie back at home?
No. And I was walking back inside, and I remember I was swimming in the pool, and I was walking back inside, and I had bought like some scuba diving fins and a snorkel mask. So I had the snorkel mask in my head and like dripping wet, got the fins still on. And in the rocks next to the house, the white rocks next to the White House, because it's a big summer house, there's like one of those fishing crabs, like in the rocks, like those rubber ones, you know? So I'm like, oh, why would someone leave this here? You know, I should probably take it next to our fishing rods and stuff, you know? So I got about halfway, leaning down halfway with my arm out to grab it. And it must have only been one of my dead relatives who were like, all right, I know we're not supposed to intervene, but I'm going to have to say something here. Because all of a sudden I just heard, stop, in the back of my head. And I was like, stop.
Stop what you're doing because you're about to ruin it.
Yeah. And the hairs on the back of my neck just stood up, and I was like, oh, let me just test this out. And I tapped it, and the tail went up on a diagonal, and it was a fucking black scorpion. And the tail went up in the arch, and it started running, and it came towards me with the big pincers and everything. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, what the fuck? And so my brother ended up coming over and beating the crap out of it with a fishing net.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I was up till probably 3 a.m. that night, and I had every pair of socks that I brought on vacation on because I was so afraid to put my feet. Because I asked my dad, I said, do you think any of that stuff could be under these sheets? I mean, if it was under my bag, he's like, well, it's a possibility. Yeah, he paid for it that night because he's like, just fucking go to bed. And I'm like, you're the one that told him, just say no. There's no possibility at all.
So the
Or
funny
say,
thing
just
is,
look.
so literally for me similarly, if I'm in a state that has scorpions or anything like that, and I'm staying in a hotel, I will take all the sheets off that thing to make sure that there's no
Absolutely,
way
Todd.
that any of those
Todd, I am
bees-
100% with you, brother. When I'm traveling, I do the same
man.
thing.
The partnership is back.
Yeah.
But, you know,
TikTok is
Exactly.
back
And
on.
if I see any insects or anything anywhere near my hotel, before I go to sleep, I'll shove toilet paper in my ear holes. So that way, at least I won't go insane because some crazy bug rolled into my ear. I'm freaking snakes, bugs.
In my
insects, spiders,
defense,
scorpions,
in my
bad.
defense, I had no clue. You know, you think of Arizona, the desert, things like that. I had no clue there were scorpions in Florida. I'm like, oh my God.
If there's anything that could kill you, it's in Florida. I can just tell you. I've been going there all my life.
Not
Half of
only
my
in
family
Florida,
lives
it's
there.
in Australia too.
And bro, I will tell you, I've been going there I'm 49 years old. I've been going there minimum once a year since I was like 8. And the only body of water I've ever been in is a pool. because I ain't going in any of that water that's there.
Surprisingly enough, he somehow convinced us, because we wanted to go snorkeling in the ocean, to swim across this 20-foot canal, walk over the berm, and go into the ocean. Yeah. And I remember thinking about him. I asked my aunt, I'm like, how come you never went? She's like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
She goes, now I think back on it, why did I let my brother and take not only his kids, my kids, through this thing with crocs or alligators and
not on your life, brother.
Yeah,
not on your life.
Yeah, you can catch swimming in any body of water in Florida.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of sharks again, but gators for sure. I can't believe people water ski out there.
I'm telling you, man, to go across this green canal that was about 20 to 30 feet long just to get to the ocean, after him saying it's brackish and this could be in it, and pulling out barracudas and knowing there could be sharks, I don't think my fins touched the water.
Yeah.
I was the first one on that berm.
Bro, I knew I was a critical thinker at an early age because, the first thing that I thought about that ever going in that water was, fuck that. I got freshwater oceans in the summer. I'll go up in the Great Lakes here. I'm not going anywhere near that water there. Anything that can eat me, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? Ain't going to happen. Ain't going to happen.
I'm always like that till I get there, and then I'm like, it's just like Michigan.
Yeah, no.
And then I think back on it, I'm like, that was stupid. Why were you in that water?
I've been to every beach in Florida, and the furthest I've ever gone is my ankles. Ain't gonna happen.
I've been snorkeling in Mexico, and Mary and I actually saw a barracuda. Now I was for a moment very, very concerned because they're like, "Oh, those shiny things." At that point, I was wearing a gold necklace in the ocean. I'm like, "Son of a bitch!"
On the backdrop of a black man, so for sure
exactly
it's gonna shine.
Exactly.
It's not gonna blend. It's not gonna blend.
And it was really scary when after I came out of the water when I saw it, and I put my head back in to figure out where it was, and it was gone. I'm like, "Oh no."
It's the beauty of YouTube. I want to see all that shit. I bring up Jack Cousteau videos and I'll watch that shit. Ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen. I just have a general rule. You know what, man? We've grown up in a tough area, lasted this long. I'm not gonna do something that. There's many times I could have bit it. I'm not hopping in there with something with teeth that's taking me out. Forget about it.
You sure?
Positive.
Fair enough.
All right, moving on. Well, that was a lot of flashbacks in that story.
I'm like, where?
And now we're
going?
We're back in the present now.
Yeah.
Hold on, before we go.
Yeah.
You asked me what I was drinking, but what are you drinking? And what are you drinking out of?
I am drinking out of a Pabst Blue Ribbon goblet, a chalice that I bought today at the antique store.
Chalice.
The cup of kings, and I am drinking the blueberry lemonade shandy.
Oh.
Ugh.
You're buying your glassware from an antique store? Why didn't you tell me you were a little short? Take this 50.
Where's the blueberry lemonade shandy from?
I picked it up. It was like a pick six pack at the store.
But I mean, do you know what who makes it?
The can's over on the top of the fridge. I'll look on the break. And
Sounds horrible.
I'll update the world.
The world?
No, it's a great summertime beer.
Yeah.
And I think it's really nostalgic.
It sounds horrible. And it's not summertime.
Well, Blake's makes a good blueberry lemonade cider. That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, I don't know that I've had that from Blake's.
It's good. It's very good. It's not too sweet. It's just a hint.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really good.
So Crabby, when he first started drinking
This
blueberry lemonade shandy, you know what happened? Well, we're taking you back 2 years ago when Bob was kayaking.
To the dewy slopes of 2 years ago.
Kayaking down the Isabel, we got to the darkest, blackest part of the river and the deepest part, and Bob was pouring Bob was pouring some of his icy cold shandy and enjoying the calm waters with a cigarette under his lip, and he took the cap off of his Yeti cup, and this was on the back side of the trip. And as he went to pour, all of a sudden you heard, "What?" And he just looks over the side of the boat, and you're, and here's
gone.
Just instantly disappears into the black abyss. This Yeti, this is like a brand new Yeti too, and the screw cap just, and you could tell he kind of like inched over a little bit, and then I said, "What are you gonna do?" He's like, "It's gone." I'm like, "You're just, why don't you do?" He's like, "Dude, for the past like half mile, you've been checking the depth with your paddle, and your arm can't even touch the bottom. He's like, I'm not getting that. I'll just have to get a new one.
Yeah, I looked over and all I saw was, and
that was it.
Yep, that's gone.
Yeah.
Cory, would you have, if that was yours, would you have dove in after it?
Oh, you better believe I would
I
have.
feel like I could see it. That's why I was like, is the reaction, that was a pretty good description of how Bob's reaction was, because I could totally visualize it.
Oh,
and the first thing I thought in my head was,
Why don't you go into the reaction that Cory would have if he dove into it, and how long that would have taken, and what you would have been told to do at the end of that?
Well, I will tell you, because I know intimately what would have happened, because on the backside of the Huron River.
Wait, hold on.
Going back to a year ago, on the Huron River at Kensington Metro Park, I was with Cory, and it was just him and I going for a nice leisurely trip down the Huron. I know many people have heard the story, so I'll keep it as short as I possibly can. But we started the trip, and we stopped at a campsite right when we were feeling pretty good. The sun was setting. We had done it before going down the Huron, so we knew what to expect. There was no exigence. We started a little bit of a fire. And
On what before?
Had sex. And
I was just saying, for a second there, I was listening.
Yeah.
I was listening, and if you when we replay this, I just want you to listen to what you just said.
I said we had done it before, and I caught myself. I said, go down the Huron. But anyhow.
So going down the Huron.
Yeah.
There was a lot of going down.
Going down.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So we get to,
Just saying.
We get back to the kayak, and Cory's like, now he talks. I mean, he's had several reviews of the glasses, the sunglasses he buys, and how much he loves them, and they're, the company will do all this great stuff for you. They fucking buy you a car and all this stuff.
tickle your balls.
Yeah.
You got it. Yep.
But he's like, where the fuck are my sunglasses? And I'm like, it's like demanding someone else to remember something you can't. Like, I never understood that. Like, oh my God, what's that one thing? And then they get pissed at you when you don't remember it. It's like, you can't fucking remember it. How do I know where your glasses are? So he's getting all upset. So we look all around that area, through the woods, everywhere we can't find his glasses. And I'm like, I don't know where you put them, man, but we're burning daylight. We got to go. So we go to get in, and he takes like his anchor and moves his little anchor over, and we both got new anchors in these bags and stuff. And so I sit down in my boat, and he's like, fuck. Where's my fucking anchor bag? I go, what? My anchor bag. I go, Cory, the anchor bag you just had like 2 seconds ago as you were getting into your kayak? I'm really getting fucking pissed off. Where the fuck is my fucking glasses? I mean, that's bad enough. I'm going to find this fucking anchor bag. And I'm like, did you drop it in the water? No, I didn't fucking drop it in the water. I'm like, oh my God. So I start flipping through songs on my little speaker, and all of a sudden he's like, got it. I got it. I just had set it over here.
No, I didn't set it anyway. It actually had floated down the river a little bit.
No, it didn't.
Yes, it did. It was down because remember I found it down in the bushes.
I don't remember that, but so
I don't remember that either, Cory.
So
Yeah, thanks, Todd.
yeah, because you wouldn't have let us leave.
Yeah, because it had floated down the river like 10
Oh, did you see it?
Yeah, I saw it
okay.
hanging in
Yeah, I don't
in the
remember
shrubs.
going down the river and then you seeing it. So you must have saw it and
Yeah.
said, all right, let's go. So that wasn't bad enough. So we get in the kayaks, and it's right about like sunset, And so Cory is in the boat, wearing his normal gear, his flip-flops, he's got his bag, he's got everything. So now we're coming around.
Minus my sunglasses.
Yeah, minus his sunglasses. He's got his wet anchor bag now. And we kind of underestimated how much left we had for the river. We'd done it before, going on the river. We had gone down the river before, Todd. And so now it's pitch black. And we're coming around this like shallow. And Cory's feeling pretty good. And I was feeling okay, but he was feeling pretty good. And I remember we stopped for a second, and maybe I was feeling pretty good too because I was picking up clams out of the water. So, and I was harvesting clams, and sometimes I clam and scallop. And so all of a sudden I hear
like a good clam every once in a while.
Yeah, all of a sudden I hear, and I'm telling you, we can only see the lights from our boats or our phones. I mean, there's no ambient city light. It is so dark, and all of a sudden I hear, oh, what the fuck? what the fuck? And I'm like, what is going on?
My flip-flop. I don't know where my flip-flop is.
I said, what?
All right, I am fucking so done with today. I am fucking done with this shit.
And he's got one leg out of the boat and like one leg still in the boat. And I'm like, why did you take your flip-flops off?
I didn't.
I said, so you're wearing one flip-flop and while you were in the boat, you lost the other?
I don't fucking know where it is. First my glasses, my anchor bag. I don't know where my fucking goddamn flip-flop is.
And I'm like, so I now at this point, I'm in hysterics because I'm starting to laugh because I'm like, so he turned into, there was just enough booze that he got slightly dramatic. And he's like,
That's it. It's fine. I'm just gonna do whatever you gotta do. You go. Just leave me here. You can go and take off.
and
Did he cry?
Leave me here.
I go, excuse me? And he goes,
I'm done. Dude, I'll fucking sleep out here. I am not leaving this river. I will not lose my flip-flop. That's the final straw. I'm not gonna fucking leave this river.
and I'm like, do you think it got stuck like when you stepped out in the mud?
No, I didn't fucking step out. It didn't get stuck. I'm not leaving without this flip.
I said, Cory, it's a foam flip-flop. It is probably 100 miles down the river by now.
I don't care. Dude, I understand that you drove to, and I get you got to go. You got to do what you got to do. Fucking leave me, because I'm not leaving till I find this fucking flip-flop.
Leave no
like,
flip-flop behind. I
I'm
like
like,
it. I like it, Cory.
Okay.
I already lost enough that
This
day.
is very, you fucking lost a lot.
I am not losing again.
Yeah.
I'm going to win something, damn it.
And it wasn't physical, the things you were losing.
Hey, Cory, don't ever lose anything around me because on your first say, leave you behind, you'd have been left in the dust.
You would have seen,
Like,
the moon,
okay.
you would have seen the moonlight bouncing off Todd's head as he rounded that riverbed.
I'm like, okay.
I
Fuck a
decided.
flip-flop.
Todd, just leave.
Todd,
Todd,
fuck a flip-flop.
Todd, I am talking to you. Stop paddling away.
I decided to hang out there with my buddy. I had nowhere to go, and I did a couple extra shots, and I'm like, I'll go back to clamming and scalping. And then
I'll bring my oyster to the party.
right as I forgot, that 5 minutes had passed and gotten into the fact that we were going to hunker down for a little bit, he's like,
All right, we can go.
I go, what?
I found it.
Like, was it in your boat, under your bag or something?
No, we can go. It's time to go.
I'm like, where was it?
It's in the mud.
I'm like, so you took
I want to show you something. This is my shock face.
I said, so you took your foot out, you put it in the water, and it's stuck in the mud. And then I asked you, is it in the mud? And you're like, no, I have
Absolutely no fucking way it's in the mud.
So
yeah, tell the tale end.
So what Nick did miss on that one is I lost the second flip flop when I tried to get out to find the first one,
I did not see that.
but I found that one very quickly. But I saw there was a little white line on the foam right around the outside of the flip flop. There was just enough sticking out, and when I looked down, my headlamp just happened to hit it the right way. And it was literally, I mean, maybe a half an inch of that much was sticking out.
Right there.
I had already declared that all was lost. Leave me here. I'll just live amongst the woods with the other creatures.
Today's a total loss.
So for the next day, I was still pissed about the sunglasses.
I was so pissed.
I drove back out there and talked to some of the rangers. They actually told me where I could go park, and I had to walk like 45 minutes through the woods.
He did
Excuse
because
me.
you couldn't.
Cory Slesky. Dearborn.
Cory,
Sunglasses. Seen them?
So
I think you know the ones I'm talking about.
I walked all the way through the woods in the rain. It was a very overcast, disgusting day.
it was a shit day the next day.
The day before was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Next day, terrible. Walked all the way through the woods, got to the campsite we're at, looked around for about another 45 minutes to an hour. I was finally like, okay, I don't know what happened to him. I'm definitely now giving up. I'm like, but while I'm here, I'm going to go over to the river. I'm going to step in the river for a second. I love being on the water, so at least get a little enjoyment.
Taking a
out of
dump?
this. Dude, I walked down to the dock, and I just happened to look off to the right where we weren't even at. Guess what was sitting right there? My fucking sunglasses.
Flip flop.
Several months later, he lost him again.
And then we were up in Oscoda. I tipped. They went off my head, and I completely lost him.
And I took his advice that day when he said, "Just go ahead. I'm looking for my sunglasses." I'm like, "You got it, buddy."
Learn my lesson.
Yeah.
All right, we got a shot sitting here, so please join us. If whatever you got close within arm's reach, grab a shot glass and pour yourself some of it. So, Todd, we got one ready?
He's ready.
I got one ready.
Here we go.
Hold on. We gotta let everyone know what we're doing now.
We are doing a Schnozzcast shot.
Yep. And what shot are we doing?
This is Revelstoke apple whiskey on this end.
Yeah,
on this side of the room.
Revelstoke Canadian roasted apple whiskey.
I gave Cory butterscotch.
My Dr. McGillicuddy's butterscotch that I know you guys will not touch. So.
I just had one.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah. I don't mind the
Gross.
butterscotch.
Oh, motherfucker.
No, I can't do it.
Gross.
I didn't grab it.
No,
He
I don't.
got it for me.
No, that's.
I feel like he thought he was like,
I got-
choke this
You
one
could buy
down.
an.
I
Oak,
got a lot more today,
You could buy an
so-
oak barrel
Okay.
of that and leave it in the basement. I wouldn't touch it.
Yeah.
Might have to do that.
I thought it was good. What do you got, Todd?
Brown sugar bourbon, baby.
Fantastic.
Brown sugar.
Cheers.
Cheers, everybody.
Salute.
Salute.
Shazam!
Revelstoke. My Canadian friend, how I've missed you.
That's good.
It's not bad.
That's good.
God, that's good.
Bob did say, he goes, "Hey, man, I think I'm going to get the Revelstoke this week." And I'm like, "Yeah?" He's like, "Yeah, I mean, we've had a lot of Fireball in like the last 3 weeks."
And we had already agreed that we weren't going to do that.
Yeah, he goes, and we were trying to get away. I said, "Yeah, in the first week we started going back on Fireball, you were like, man, I'm so glad we had a nice calm week. Nothing happened. Nothing broke." I said, "Things were breaking because we were drinking moonshine, whiskey, and high-proof beer." I said, "Sometimes you got to chill a little bit with some Fireball."
Was that the night the table tipped?
That was,
was
the night.
one of the nights.
The night the table tipped was the first night with the keg at 6.9% per beer.
I had
that
brought
explains
that
some more.
mason jar of moonshine whiskey.
He brought the strawberry milk
Oh,
whiskey.
yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Yep.
And we had another whiskey that we were doing shots of, and we had Fireball that night. So,
Remind us to tell you that story. We won't rehash it on
oh
the air.
God, no.
But when we're done, they're on break. We'll talk about it because you're going to get a kick out of that one.
Literally.
It's like,
Yes.
I know Bob did.
all right.
No, I just listen to all these flavored whiskeys, and all I do is just hope one day you guys' testicles drop. I hope it happens at some point.
I thought I was doing pretty good doing some whiskey while you were here, but
Oh my God, this flavored stuff.
I've never felt more confident in this TikTok partnership than I do right now.
I think our first viewers, Todd, are going to be Cory and Danielle once they're married too. They'll be listening to us.
They're not
for
already married?
Relationship advice.
Yeah. They should.
I will take any bit you give.
Excellent.
He's turned
I have
down every
lots to
bit I've
give.
given, so maybe it'll stick from you.
Well,
yeah, really.
Me and Todd.
going
Yeah.
by experience, I think I'm going to go with you and Todd.
There we go.
There you go.
A lot of
there
marriage
you go.
experience on Crabby's end.
Huge. Yeah. Gigantic. I know everything not to do and screw it up.
Well, Todd, I want to dish it off to you.
sir.
Let's do
Yes,
a little
sir.
airing. Let's do a little airing of grievances, sir.
Oh, a little airing of grievances. So I have to preface my airing of grievances this week. And I thought you were going to go first, Bob. But anyway, I am ready. I'm going to preface this by saying I do wholeheartedly believe and know that women are equally able to men in many ways. But my grievance this week is I was watching one of the FBI shows, and one of the female detectives, of course, announced FBI about 80 feet away from a perp, and then commenced to chase down an athletic young man like 100 yards away and outrun her partner. And I can't suspend disbelief long enough to believe this frumpy detective is going to outrun everybody. And I get the criminal might not be in shape, but it's ridiculous. And I got to say, again, if you're going to have a really fast detective, get a real actor who's really fast, who can legitimately catch a fat perp. But don't have a frumpy lady detective run down a gazelle-looking dude in a parking lot so that we all kind of say, yeah, women are able. Women are able. But come on. That's my grievance.
Okay.
Wow.
Where was that grievance born?
So I was watching the show one of the FBI series. Like there's like FBI Fugitive, and there's like FBI International and all.
Was it Misogyny She Wrote? Is that the show?
I'm not a misogynist. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. At the end of the day, it was clear. It was clear that the detective at the chase would not have been able to catch the perp. Especially, and again, why do they in these shows when the person doesn't see him, not announce like right when they're behind, like FBI? Then they're like one step and we got you. No, they're like 80 feet behind the guy. And they're like, FBI, freeze. And of course, dude's going to run. And then, like I said, then it gets unrealistic when I'm looking at two people running and their form and all this other stuff. And there's no way they're catching anybody, but they do. That's my grievance.
All right.
I don't think I could top that.
You could have brought Joe in on that conversation.
Fucking women. Fuck. Oh,
no! I love the women. Love the women.
Oh, no.
And there are fast women.
I had to tell Joe several times. I'm like, hey man, we try and we're PC, but we're not PC. Like we're gonna swear and things like that, but not that any one of us on the show are like, except for Todd, like wanna hate on women, But
the term "dirty gash" cannot be said on this show. I'm with you.
But a lot of times in talking with Joe, I'm like, I remember one time everyone had taken off and we were drinking and we were upstairs and he's like, oh man, you guys should have this on the show. I'm like, well, if you act calm like this all the time, maybe you'd be on the show. He's like, I got a lot of good ideas. I'm like, do ya? And he's like, yeah, I do. And I said, all right. So I pulled up the notes on my iPad. I said, give me some ideas what we should talk about on the show. All right. You gotta have good. He goes, good music.
Yeah.
I said, okay, yeah, we can talk. So I type in good music. Women. You gotta talk about women. I said, okay, but you'd think about like, oh yeah, what's the fucking hottest chick, that's going on?
Most people you wouldn't have to ask, well, what are you going to say about these women?
Yeah.
But with Joe,
but
delve a little deeper.
It's like
how much they suck.
It's a 4-letter word.
Yeah.
So he goes on to say like 2 other things, and I said, all right, well, what's number 5? Oh, women. We're gonna have to some fucking women, man. And I go, you already have women on there. You need to put it again. We got to talk about women. I'm like, all right, this is why you're not on the show, man. This is why you're not on the show.
Yeah, it's such a weird thing because typically when I think pizza, I think happy.
Yeah,
but Joe, he just doesn't correlate with pizza for me. It's like
my grandpa used to say,
to be Mexican.
Never let a day go by.
He's the pizza guy, right?
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I mean. He's the most unhappy pizza person I've ever seen in my life. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think most people are, man, just tossing the pie, and I mean, every pizza parlor you go into, especially if it's the owner, like they're just, they're so excited. And I'm just, every time he's on here, I'm like,
hey, Jimmy, good to see you. How you doing, man?
No, that's the guy I buy my liquor from at the quarter store. Anyway, go ahead.
Off Cherry Hill?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
My friend. Hey, my friend.
Hey, my friend. God bless you, Jimmy.
Yeah, my friend. Yeah.
Bob buys his liquor from a guy that owns a store who's Arabic, Middle Eastern in descent, and somehow every time he talks to Bob in an Italian accent. So we're not sure why. Every time he comes out, Bob's like,
Crabby knows what I'm talking about.
Depends where he's from.
Bob goes every time I go in.
Closest
hey, yo, Bobo, what you doing? How's everything, Bobo?
Yeah, if he's Mediterranean Arab, for sure. Yeah, I mean, seriously, like the Egyptians, everybody along that. Yeah, for sure. Lebanese.
I would bet on the fact that Bob just can only do a few.
Bad imitator.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Yeah, that's definitely it.
Yep.
Oh, Bob talks to him in an Italian accent.
No. I try to do as little talking as possible. It's like going to lunch with your grandmother.
Give you a tip.
You
just
can't give them anything.
I'm gonna give you a tip. Just a tip.
Go ahead.
Is just go meshy. Meshy just means okay. Okay, you're just saying okay to everything. Everything you say.
But hold on. If I'm a white guy who's
you are,
who never said meshy to anyone,
yeah,
and I've gone in there for years, and all of a sudden I break up meshy.
He'd love it.
He would.
Yeah.
You'd love, oh, absolutely.
He would think that I took the time to learn.
or you just learned it. Like somebody just told you about it. Yeah, absolutely.
He would.
Okay.
Shukran is thank you. You know, say shukran awi, thank you very much.
Oh, that's
Just-
a lot of.
yeah.
A lot of times
a
when
lot
he
of
drinks too much at
trilling
my
in
house,
that.
he gets a little meshy. But I don't know
A
about
lot of
before.
trilling there.
That
I
or-
can't do the trilling.
If he asks you anything else, halas. That's it. Finished.
Okay,
I think you have an ass kicking coming, Bob.
Yeah,
do
I was going to
do
say.
either you guys
No, it's got to be
do
ecstatic.
either you guys think he's going to remember any of this conversation?
No,
No, not at all.
Yes.
Not at all.
You know
It's
why?
gonna- it's
Because
gonna-
I'm going
it's
to listen
gonna-
back to
it's gonna-
this on Monday.
He's going to say a word, he's going to mispronounce it, and it's gonna be something
Now,
vile.
I will listen to it again on Monday, and I will take notes, and I will do that all while being sober.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then forget
You're
promptly
screwed.
on Tuesday.
Well,
Go to the liquor store Wednesday.
oh no.
Hey, meshy. You and me, you know, I'm right there with you.
I got a good friend told me your name was Meshy.
Hey, Messi Paisan. You know, there were a couple of Paisans.
That's what I was going to say. The guy's like, why is he talking to me in Arabic? I'm Italian.
Yeah. And I'm sure that mashy means, hey, I want to rub my wiener on your daughter's face.
No, that's kind of hacking.
Bob's like,
As soon as I walk out there, I'll be like, Crabby.
No, I know you're full of shit on that one.
Bob's like, I'm just gonna
that one.
insert some Arabic and some Italian and see which one he bites on.
Yep. See how this goes.
Like, walla, bro, va for Napoli, huh?
Well, it's funny. It's funny is that some of them have been around both cultures. Like I have a couple Arabic friends that lived in Greece for a while, and I'll speak to them in both. So
And
say
you
hello to
are
them.
Greek, right?
Yeah, I'll say hello to them in Greek, goodbye to them in Arabic.
Keep them on their
that's the
toes.
Same way. They'll be the same way with me. You know what I mean? It's pretty funny.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Todd, I got a couple of grievances to piggyback off of yours from last week. So I was at the Kroger this week, and I saw two amazing things while I was at the Kroger.
I was the same way. I'm like, what?
Well, Todd had some interesting things to say about his grievances about people leaving their carts in the middle
No,
of the aisle.
dude, the Kroger.
The Kroger,
I thought I was
yeah.
talking. Yeah, I thought I was talking to my grandparents here for a minute.
The Kroger.
The Kroger.
He's old enough to be one of your grandparents.
The Kroger.
I was on the MySpace inside the Kroger.
I was on the TikTok the other day.
Was picking up my cream of what from the Kroger.
Cream of twat. So I saw two things at the Kroger this week.
There we go.
So the first one was I saw a mother pushing a child in one of those like race car carts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the kid's sitting in there. So she was in the dairy aisle.
She had a nice ass, so I followed her for a while.
She was shopping for eggs. I was getting milk.
Damn yoga pants.
None of your fucking business.
Damn yoga
Oh,
pants.
you guys are,
And she was giving her daughter. She was opening up like cartons of eggs and giving them individually to her daughter to smell.
Oh, that's sanitary.
Getting approval, I assume, because she would then like take it back and then
Put
it
it back-
in
put it back on
carton,
the shelf.
Take another one and out of the carton, and she was smelling individually the eggs in the carton. So I had to stay there long enough to see.
So it was like Clerks.
Yes. Well, no, they weren't like rolling around on the ground for like consistency or
Okay, damn it.
aerodynamic. But there was a lot of smelling going on.
Is she like high functioning or
And the good
something where
news-
I'm going to feel like an ass?
The good news, fellas, is the whole carton passed the test.
The smell test.
Yeah.
Didn't put any of them
yeah.
back.
But if
She
she put
them
that
all
back,
in the carton and then put the carton in the cart and then she went
Oh,
on her way.
good. So she's buying those eggs.
They all passed the smell test.
Any kind of sign over the carton afterwards, you know, like any, and then a spit.
hey, Bob,
That's why I was staying to watch. I'm like, what happens if one of them doesn't meet the smell test? I've got to see.
it goes in another carton.
Smash it right on the ground.
It goes into another carton, gets swapped out. But Bob, what you
Oh, I
should
like
have
it.
done is
Genius.
quickly grab it.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't understand what's going on. I mean, you got to bring that girl out to your roost there, Todd, because it's like one of those dogs that can smell cancer. Apparently she can tell which ones
Absolutely.
are good. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I can. Yeah, that
I'm surprised
that-
Bob
that
didn't grab a
sounds
dozen
like
eggs and have her sniff them.
Yeah. Bob was sniffing something else at that time.
The minute she got on a
I
plane,
didn't say I was done. I do have more to tell.
the minute she got on a plane,
Yes.
Todd would be arrested for trafficking.
There we go. There we go.
So that wasn't even the what I consider to be the greatest thing that happened to me during that same shopping trip.
Quick question:
Yeah,
ethnic at all, or was it just straight up white folk, or
as far as I could tell, yeah.
really?
Yeah.
What does that mean? What's straight
Like,
white folk?
What do you mean? What do you-
Why are you asking that question,
if you and I
Todd?
are on TikTok,
I'm like, we gotta meet before for our TikTok meeting. I got questions.
Yeah.
yeah, olive skin, brown skin, or straight white folk.
Clarifying question: how do you identify white folks? Because then that's how that would go.
Yeah.
Hold
on.
Go ahead, Todd.
Never mind. No, after you.
So also I was there. I had a lady come up and approach me with my cart. I was by myself. I had food in my cart. She came up.
She from like Plenty of Fish or something?
Is there a
Nope.
boing, boing?
That's how you roll, Bob. Bob,
She was a
embrace
middle-aged
your
woman.
Kavork.
She came up to the cart and she asked
Ethnic
me,
descent or straight up white girl?
straight up white girl.
Embrace your Kavorka.
And asked me if that was the last steak that they had.
In the world?
Well, I assumed she meant in the store, so I said I have no idea. She's like, "Well, I just came from the steak
Is that
section, and
the
there
last?
are no more ribeyes." And I said, "Well,
Bob.
I guess
That's how Bob got a blowjob at
the
Kroger.
last one."
Bob said,
No, hold on a second.
Bob
My
said
next question would have been,
Yeah.
do I look like I work here?
no, Bob.
No, Bob said, "No, ma'am, it's just the tip."
Bob said, I guess you'll have to.
Wink, wink,
I guess you'll have to look for your meat
winkety
elsewhere.
wink. I did not.
It's
that
the
the last
rib
steak?
tip. It's not the full ribeye.
So, all of these are great suggestions. And if all of you guys were in the store with me, you'd have been whispering in my ear going like, "Oh, say this, say this." But if you're like me, when I'm at Kroger, I just want to get the fuck out of there. Even if I just walked in, I'm like, I just want to get my shit and get the fuck out of here.
Which way
Even
do
if
you
they
go in
ask,
Kroger?
is this the last steak
No, we're not.
in the world?
You're not trying to be like your parents off the Progressive commercial.
Oh.
Joe in the meat counter.
Quality work, yeah.
Dude,
It
Bob
was
is
so helpful.
What, did he just change the blade on this? I mean, look at this. When you slice the salami.
It's so thin, I can't even see through it anymore. I thought I bought meat, but there's nothing in my cart.
This cart kind of pulls to the left just to let you know a little bit.
No, I don't want to talk to
You know our fans in Bali aren't going to get any of this.
but they're listening, I'm sure, to get a flavor of American culture. This is what it's like when you're shopping at the Kroger. And
it's a grocery store. If you couldn't
It's
gather
something to
that.
aspire to.
yeah, this is the kind of
Is this the last steak
shenanigans that
on
you can
Earth?
expect in the Kroger.
The largest grocer in America, by
Yeah,
the way.
yeah. So, excuse me. This is an airing of grievances section,
bit of
and
a cough
I should
button.
say that those are two. That's the only grievance I had. Is that what the fuck is it with people approaching me in the store?
I don't think.
Stop coming up to me for anything at all.
And stop sniffing the eggs.
I was going to say,
No. That is the only thing that I saw in the Kroger that was entertaining.
I think
Sniff eggs all day long.
I think Mr. Paul Harvey would want you to say the rest of the story.
That's my grievance.
Said Bob.
Yeah.
Hey, not a well-formed grievance, but a grievance nonetheless. I do like that. I love the fact that you crystallized it at the very, very end because I'm like, I don't see any grievances here. Craziness, but no grievances.
Todd gives it a solid C minus, Bob.
Yeah, true.
No, but my
Solid
grievance
C. Solid
at the end
B
is,
plus.
why the fuck
true.
are people approaching
It's
me
a
in the
D
Kroger
plus.
for anything? I don't want anyone to talk to me, approach me, speak with me, look at me. I just go about your business, and I just want to get
There you go.
Just get the fuck out of there. That's my
There you
grievance.
go. Now that's a solid grievance.
Okay,
thank
so
you, sir.
Todd, let's get back to it. So that is an example of straight up
people
white
problems?
people. Exactly, right? Straight up white person right there. Okay, that was it right there.
What you just heard, ladies and gentlemen,
Going to a public place, not want anybody to speak to them. Just
classic
get
example.
Exactly. Make America great again.
Bob's like, I may have been wearing my royal blue vest, but I mean,
I was actually just thinking, I'm like,
It did say Larry right here on the name tag.
how great would it be to go into a Kroger wearing a blue shirt and khakis with a Kroger name tag on and look at people and be like, why
Can
are
I-
you
can I
talking to
help
me?
you?
I don't fucking work here.
Be a great bit.
Yes, it would.
I'd like
Yes,
to
it would.
video it. That'd be might have to do that. Might be a Schnozzcast bit that needs to go on the YouTube channel.
Okay.
We could
here-
totally do that.
We go into Kroger.
How many hats do you have that have a little fitting there for your GoPro that you could just
All of
walk
them.
around? That's the only answer I expected.
So we go to Kroger wearing that with the name tag.
Yeah.
We go to the egg aisle and we start taking all the eggs out and put them on the ground and just start smelling them and replacing them into different cartons.
Yes.
One of us is going to get arrested.
No.
No.
Yeah, I'm gonna
No.
You don't think so?
Maybe approached by loss prevention, but you won't get arrested.
I'm gonna stay at my house that day,
Okay.
and when
Can
you guys need to get
mic
bailed
me
out,
up?
Oh, yeah.
Assuming that you're going to make me do it.
Well, you gave the story, so.
Well, but this is that story's been told.
Anybody-
So it's over now.
Anybody got a pen?
Now we're writing our own script.
Anybody have a pen?
Yes.
I love it.
stand by.
Hey, Bob.
Yeah.
Actually, no, Nick, I got you.
I have a little bit of a side interject here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This is my first
So-
entry in the
So I was
book.
loving the idea. I'm like, hey, I should get a GoPro and go and video myself. Seeing if I'd get approached by random people at QFC or Kroger, as it is here. But it turns out I am no longer going to the Kroger in my town ever again
Is this
because
another grievance?
grievance. It is.
Okay.
My second grievance is my Kroger grower named in North Bend, Washington. You can Google it. They're having a bit of a rat problem. And when I say a bit of a rat problem, people are screaming in the eye because rats are eating all the dog food in aisle 11 every day. The rats
Wait,
have taken over
during the
our
day?
local. So yes.
Like while people
Yeah,
are shopping.
customers while people are shopping. And so I have now officially boycotted my Kroger store and all stores because all of them are now guilty by association. If they can get into a Kroger, they can get into a Safeway. And so Todd Dillon, am now off grocery stores.
So what are you going to do? You're just going to subsist on eggs from your chickens?
I think so. I think I'm off the grid now.
Or are you just sending Mary to go get the groceries now?
No, but she can't get them from QFC. She can't do it. Because literally the rats ruling the roost. They're ruling the roost. And Mary belongs to this little, I don't know the official name of it, but there's like some sort of website where all the local people in the neighborhood can chat and gossip amongst each other
next
around
door.
the
Next door.
next door. So our next door site has been a buzz about this rat party going on at our local QFC. And I'm like, does the manager know? And, oh, yeah. And I'm like, so why haven't they burned that store down and started construction on a new one yet? What is going on?
That's what Todd
that
would
the
do.
rats
Burn it down.
Exactly. I'm like, when you have an infestation that can't be dealt with quickly, phase 2 is quickly realizing that you've been defeated by the enemy, and you burn the structure to the earth.
All right.
That's in Sun Tzu.
We're
of
quoting
War.
The Art of War in
Yeah, I
your
was gonna
review of
say-
QFC.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you. I thought Bill Bradsky before The Art of the War.
Bill Brasky was the son of a bitch.
Best damn salesman in the office.
Slept with all our wives and punched us in the face. And I love it.
I once sat in a parking lot with Bradsky until they constructed a bar around us.
I once saw him scissor kick Angela Lansbury.
I want to be your dear friend.
I want to be your dear friend. Oh, well, that's as far as we could take that.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
No, we go further.
There you go.
I know you can.
We won't.
Not advising to do so.
No. Why do you mock me?
Me? I did not.
You mock me.
I can if you want me to.
The very moon mocks me.
TT. Striking first.
All right, let's get into Little Gentleman's Agreement.
Oh, it's the MF and Gentleman's Agreement. Oh, done.
You've heard that song before, but it's totally different hearing it in your cans.
That's the thing. Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's exactly right. Yeah.
All right, let's start with Nick. You had to watch Rooster Cogburn from
Rooster.
Greg.
Why, yes, I did have to watch Rooster Cogburn, Bob. Thanks for asking. Yeah, it was. I mean, I saw the movie that the previous movie,
True Grit.
The Precipice, right?
Sure.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sure.
Let's go with that.
Yeah, I watched True Grit. It was very confusing because I remember at the time that Bob had Greg tried to assign me True Grit, and Bob's like, "Oh no." Or tried to assign me Rooster Cogburn. He's like, no. Why don't you do True Grit first and Succession? I had no clue about the movies. So I watched True Grit first. And then Greg's like, oh, have you seen Rooster Cogburn? And I'm like, yes. And Bob's like, no, you haven't.
How did he say that?
Have you seen Rooster Cogburn? and Bob's like, no, you haven't. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I absolutely know that name, Rooster Cogburn. I know I've seen them. He's like, no, that's because he's a reoccurring character. Yeah, I'm like, oh, okay. So, yeah, I mean, I feel like I have less to say about movies that I really like, and I just probably enjoyed it way too much. Like, if it could be a movie that just went on, like a series, like I told Mike this, if this could be like James Bond, where it just goes on and on and on and on and on, that'd be amazing. Like if John Wayne never died. But I feel like that they started the character of Rooster Cogburn a little late in John Wayne's life, because they were even making shots about his age in Rooster Cogburn. Like, oh, you can't even close your vest. Your stomach sticks out further than your belt, and all this stuff. He's, why don't you watch your mouth, Judge? Whatever he said. But I mean, the long and the short of it, if you haven't seen the movie, if you like Westerns, it's great. I want to watch it right now. I want to go back and watch it again. I want to watch True Grit again. It's amazing. I didn't realize how much of a fan of John Wayne I was. I know I like Westerns, but yeah. And
Actually,
it's
the next thing you should watch is the remake of True Grit, where Jeff Bridges plays the part that John Wayne played.
I hate Jeff Bridges.
Really?
He looks at him all the time when we're down here.
Oh, no. But he's an actor, so he doesn't play every part like the dude.
It's a joke.
Okay.
Now, I'm sure he does. I would love to see more stuff of his, but I have seen on, if that's what you're talking about, the thing that's on Netflix.
Yeah, I think it is.
There's like
Netflix.
a super newer version of True Grit that I
Yeah.
keep seeing advertisements for. Is he still sick?
Oh, that's a great. Cory would probably know more than anybody else.
It's kind of saddening, so I haven't really kept up with it.
Ask my friend Google.
He's going to Google it.
So when did his version of True Grit come out?
Probably 5 or 6 years ago.
Okay, yeah, because I was going to say it didn't look that old.
No, but he definitely is in the same vein, like a crotchety, hard living Rooster Cogburn in the movie. It's very well done. But I would say, the fact that you watched True Grit and Rooster Cogburn, I read that Rooster Cogburn was the last role that he played before he died.
What?
John Wayne, yeah.
He wasn't that old. What did he die from?
I mean,
Colon cancer.
he
It
really?
actually inspired me to do a yearly cleanse and take probiotics because
Really?
they found an autopsy. They found 50 pounds of undigested shit in his colon.
Wow.
Yep. 50.
Thanks for listening to the Schnozzcast, everyone.
So he probably wasn't really putting on
Well,
weight. He was
that's probably a teaser for his pick of the week.
All right, well, we're all glad you liked it. I'm going to speak for Greg and say I'm sure Greg would love the fact that you loved it.
Yeah, it was awesome, dude.
So moving down the list.
Real quick,
Yeah.
in remission, he said COVID was worse than any of the cancer treatments that he's had.
Remission? That's great, though.
That's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Godspeed, Jeff Bridges.
That's awesome.
Cory, you had to watch two things. You had to watch the correct Grand Tour from last week, and then
Correct.
I assigned you In a World.
In a world.
So, yes, I will start with that since Nick hit the nail on the head with In a World and how he did the voice in such a Don LaFontaine fashion.
You son of a bitch. Yeah.
Well, I didn't connect the two until I started the movie, and then I realized it's kind of a look inside of a voice actor's career. So looking at, it's the daughter of a famous voice actor, and she's trying to make her own path, forge her own path in the industry. And she, whatever you were just doing really distracted me.
Him?
Yeah.
Oh, Nick.
What did I do?
So, like,
Oh,
He's
this?
fidget spinning
Yeah.
something.
So it's below
But it's under the table. Yeah. All right.
so anyways,
That's gonna look great in the video version of this podcast.
Oh,
so it's about her trying to forge her own path and taking her dad's same route of being a voice actor and doing introductions and things to movies. Without trying to give too much away, there's a lot of like, I feel like they're kind of touching on the old Jeffrey Epstein kind of controversy that was going on with him in the movie with how her dad and Gustav acted.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
So-
I guess I could see that.
So yeah, so I don't want to give too much away, because I definitely want people to go watch the movie. But it's like a taking over of the reins, and her dad did not believe in her, but she, again, not to wreck it, she continued on and she does what she needs to do to try and go and get to her dad's level. So I strongly suggest you go check it out. Great flick.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I honestly thought I was taking a big swing with this one. I wasn't sure that you'd like it or not.
Lake Bell is a great actor. There was some other Nick Offerman's in it.
I think I asked you. I'm like, at some point in the last week, I think I texted you or asked you when I saw you how much of a fan you were of Wet Hot American Summer.
Yes.
Because there are a lot of actors from that series.
Oh yeah.
In the movie.
And Nick Offerman. Although I will say in a world, Nick Offerman without a mustache, not a fan of.
Yeah. Nick Offerman is probably feeling. The
Yeah,
same.
it was very awkward seeing that. But
Yeah.
other than that, awesome flick. Absolutely recommend it. Go out and check it out.
All right. I feel this is you got a spring in my step now. I can't believe
I hope
you
so.
like that. Yeah. I'm very, very happy.
hopefully not a spring that makes your leg go 6 feet up in the air.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see about that.
The night is young. I also had to watch the actual episodes of the Grand Tour, not Top Gear.
Right.
Funny enough, all the same guys in Top Gear are in Grand Tour.
Oh yeah.
Although they basically take Top Gear and take it on the road to all these different places. In this, dude, the opening episode, oh my God, the production behind that,
Isn't it?
Jesus Christ,
It's overproduced.
it's so overproduced.
Yeah.
And then in the scenes where they're actually in this tent, it's a massive army tent.
Mm-hmm.
It's a building in itself, and they always have these picturesque views out there, the windows behind them where they're sitting at the table. My first thought, I'm like, there is no way that's the actual view out there. And I actually put it in my notes as a question. I'm like, is there any way if we could find out if that was a real view or not? But I got to I'm on episode 7 now, I think, because I've continued watching it. And they actually do go up to the window. You can actually see like where the tent is, and I'm like, oh shit, they are really at that location.
They spent a lot of money.
And I one of the funniest parts of the show was with when they're having their celebrity guests on, and they always incur, spoiler alert, a horrible sort of death.
Yeah.
And some of them are the actual celebrities, like Johnny Carr. Like they actually had shots of him driving on a jet ski until he met his demise.
Yeah.
And he never came on the show. But he was actually there to film his demise.
It was one of the things that I really liked about the show was that conceit of we've got this famous guest, here they come, wherever they're looking out the window, whether it's across the desert plains or across like a canal,
harbor.
Yeah, they're trying to get to the show, but they're not going to make it for one reason or another. And I thought it was really entertaining, that part of it.
Yeah, so good show, man.
Oh, I like it. Cracks me up. With who's the tall British guy? He always has something to say.
Jeremy something.
Yeah, he just cracks me the fuck up. Just
Am I right about that?
Yeah.
his deadpan British humor is
The only downside was listening to them was like listening to Mike. So
right. But they're funny.
They're actually funny. Yes.
Yeah.
Jeremy Clarkson.
Yeah, I like him a lot.
So yeah, great pick, man.
Awesome. Todd Dillon, you had Murder Among the Mormons.
Yes, sir.
From Nick.
Yes, and the problem was late in the ball game because remember I asked, aren't there explosions in that thing? And no, there's no explosions. Blah blah blah. Yeah, Cory assigned it to me. I saw it.
Oh,
like literally
Cory?
like 3 seconds.
I assigned it to Todd months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Todd reached out as far as yesterday.
Yep.
And said sorry for the late notice. I think it was last night actually. And he said
was.
Sorry.
I was late in the game.
Sorry for the late notice, but I've already seen this.
Yep.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
caught to it.
What did you watch instead then?
So Bob had watched something from your list that I hadn't seen. There's a thing that you have a lot of good stuff on your list that I want to see.
Of course, I fucking do.
Well, it's things that other people have assigned to you, dope. Anyway,
wait, hold on.
You said my list.
Is this
I thought
Bob's list or mine?
it was Bob's list.
You
haven't seen anything.
Okay,
I understand that, but you haven't seen anything.
What did you watch?
I watched Don't Fuck with Cats.
That is okay. All right.
Okay, Todd. So I think the reply text said, "Find something on my list you haven't seen and watch it." Why would I?
I thought that was from Bob.
I assigned you Murder Among the Mormons.
Who assigned me?
I already saw that.
Cats? Is that you?
Yeah. And I feel like we have a good review coming up, boys.
Yeah, here we go.
I can even create good reviews without assigning the movie. This is fantastic.
See what you've done here, Nick Bader. You've
Hold on. Hold the phone, and I got my own track. I have not given a review of the movie that I haven't seen that I've clearly disappointed Nick because I'm sure I've seen everything on your list. But so I totally screwed up again. I thought Bob sent back.
You owe me another one. Actually,
I do
because I've never seen Don't Fuck with Cats, so that doesn't count.
Oh no.
I know. Nick, I owe you another one.
Well, while you're not talking, Nick,
gladly
start
take
looking.
it.
Oh, this is going to take me weeks.
Jesus Christ. All right, Todd. Sorry, go ahead.
Yes. So Don't Fuck with Cat. And now I'm like, yeah, Bob had that, and for whatever reason, I kept getting around back to it. So again, spoiler free. It's a mini documentary series about the cat, the famous-ish guy who was wannabe serial murderer, just want to be famous from Canada, who actually was killing cats, and that's why the title "Don't Fuck with Cats," because as serial killers do, they typically start with animals. And his first thing was he posted a video of a snuff film with kittens. And I think I remember when Bob gave his critique, going, even if you don't like cats, there's something sick about just deliberately doing something that despicable to a living being. But I concurred. I actually gave the documentary a solid C. And I gave it a C because I thought there was a lot of important stuff missing, and especially if you're doing a mini documentary series, they didn't have to go to didn't even need a whole other episode to actually clear up some things. I also thought that the police force across the world looked totally inept across the board. I thought that was pretty interesting, and then I think the overall production of it was. So solid C. I don't know that I'll watch again. Interesting in that was a story that never ever made my radar. Which again, coming from Michigan, typically things that happen in Canada, even if it's in Montreal or Toronto, we're kind of privy to because Canada is like America's little brother. But a solid C.
All right, I guess Cory will take the C.
Yes, I'll take the C.
Yeah.
Solidly average. Cory, I love it.
I shoot for the middle board.
Well done, sir.
You know.
Sorry, Nick.
No, he's working hard on trying to get you an alternate pick for this week.
What it motherfucking is.
Jimmy,
Yo,
last time in October you had the Outpost, and I cannot recall.
I did.
Nick.
It was Nick, as I recall,
Yep,
that
Nick
assigned
gave
it to you.
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah!
So
A little bit.
So can you give us like 30-second synopsis of it and a review? What did you think?
So it was a true story about a outpost that was in Afghanistan, and it was more towards the beginning. No, I take that back. 2009. It was in a really, it was in a valley below a bunch of mountains, and a really, just a hellstorm, a horrible setup by the generals that had planted that, and so it was a story of it. It was a story of the guys that had to deal with the shit when they were there, all the way through to when it closed. And it was based off a book by actually Jake Tapper. Jake Tapper wrote a book on it, and it was based off of that. And it was fantastic. I would give it an A+. Best
Agreed.
so far out of all the gentleman's agreement that I've watched.
I haven't assigned you anything, obviously.
I was
Nice.
gonna say that's only the third thing you've been assigned. So
No
It
shit.
was excellent. Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, Greg had given it to me, and I gave it such high accolades that I'm like, this is.
Yeah, it was very, very. It was. I
It
thought
was
they-
moving, you know.
and I thought they did a great job.
Did Greg give that to you? Or I thought I did.
No, Greg gave me the outpost.
well, but who gave it to Crabby?
Nick did.
I did.
Yeah, Nick did. So,
I thought I was gonna say I thought I gave one the Afghanistan. Actually, I take that back. I gave Nick American Sniper. I think.
Oh, yes,
Right, yeah.
yes, you did.
yeah, yeah.
Back in the same month, back in
Yeah.
October.
so
Yeah, that's what that. But Outpost was the movie. I think you gave me Outpost, or maybe again, I knew I saw it, but that was going to tip me to give you American
Exactly.
Sniper.
Already.
So anyway, yeah. So solid. I would solid A+. Yeah, it was excellent.
You already gave it a grade.
Yeah.
I'm glad you liked it, man.
I'm giving it again. I got
It
fucking
was-
rudely interrupted from some dick in the Pacific Northwest.
No, I
like,
feel this partnership to the TikTok slowly crumbling.
That's
Yeah,
the
it was-
best movie I've ever seen ever. A+. And I'm like, cool.
no, it was
now we can
A+.
move on.
It was
was
hard to watch, but it was riveting at the same time.
Yeah, and what they did, I guess one of the things they did real well was that I know some veterans that were over there, both in Afghanistan and Iraq, and the way they portrayed the soldiers and some of the things that come up.
It absolutely suspended disbelief, you know.
So, and the things, we think of, and I think of anyways, when I think of soldiers, I think of guys in the straight and narrow, like, in World War II or even Vietnam,
Yeah.
And I've heard from, like I said, some friends and people that are vets that were over there that guys, unfortunately, that did get killed or got seriously wounded were mainly because they didn't follow what they should have been following. Their focus was in other places, doing other things, thinking of other things, bullshitting, and you could see that they really showed that really well. It was good. It was really, really good. Yeah, It kind of reminded me, to be honest with you, what Platoon was to Vietnam. The movie that I saw, Platoon, it kind of reminded me of.
You're going to have to explain Platoon as well because Nick has never seen that. So
Oh, yeah. Well, maybe I won't explain it. We'll see if I try.
There you go.
Yeah, we got
Exactly.
assignments coming up very soon. But before
Exactly. He is the perfect target for good movies.
that, I had to watch Blackish from Todd.
But specifically,
I watched.
specifically,
Say
I
that
said
again, Todd.
specifically. I said
So-
specifically. I said
Specifically
I
asked
enunciated.
you to watch that.
So I watched 4 episodes of Blackish. I watched first I watched, and this is the order, Todd. I watched Advance to Go Collect $200,
the Black Monopoly.
Black Monopoly episode.
And how apropos that Nick walked away.
That's fine. That's fine. And then I watched some random episode. I can't remember the name of it. But then I watched, the third one I watched was Purple Rain. And the fourth
There
one
you
I
go.
watched was the Hope episode.
Yep.
So I think I got everything that you assigned to me because I think I got one.
Yeah, I left one for you just to pick. Yep.
Yeah, so that was the second one I watched. So I honestly can't remember what the second one was. But as I watched the first three, so the Black Monopoly episode, the random one, and Purple Rain, I kept thinking to myself, I'm like, this just is not doing it for me. I'm not laughing. There's not much here that I find funny. There are a few funny moments in every episode where I did chuckle a couple of times, but other than that, I'm like, it didn't tickle my funny bone the way that I thought that it might. And I'd never watched a show before. And I so Lori happened to be over the night after I watched the Purple Rain episode. So I'm 3 out of 4 in, and I go, hey, and I explained to her what I'm doing and what I got to sign, and I go, and I'm like, have you ever watched a show? And she's like, no, I've never watched a show. I go, I don't know why but I'm not finding this funny. And I go, is it because I'm white? And she's like, I don't know. I've never seen it. I'm like, I'm afraid I'm not getting the show because I'm a white guy, and this is just not. It's not my sense of humor, I guess. Then then the next night I watched the last episode, the Hope episode. And the Hope episode is essentially the whole cast of Blackish is dealing with a, potentially racially motivated police action in their neighborhood. And
they call the cops.
They call the cops, and they're trying to determine whether or not, some of them want to go down there and join in the protest, and others are, quite honestly and legitimately afraid for their family members. Like, stay away from that. You don't need to be down there in the middle of that. We're not white people, and I don't want something bad to happen to you. And so it's a commentary on racial tensions in America today. And while I was watching the episode, it occurred to me that all of the episodes that you assigned to me, except for the random one, were recaps of conversations that you and I have had over the past 2 years, which focused on Black Monopoly, which your explanation of it I found hilarious. You've mentioned on the show a couple of times. We've talked at length about not only Prince but also music, good and bad, and we've also talked about race relations, given George Floyd and a lot of other things that have happened. And you and I have been on the phone for a long, long time, like hours on end, just having conversations about this. And it wasn't until the last episode that it dawned on me that maybe you assigned this to me with these particular episodes for a reason. And I had to go back then and watch those episodes again, because I felt like I had not looked at them in the same light. And I really got a lot more out of them the second time. So I don't know if I can recommend the show to anybody who wants to watch it as being, well worth your time.
They got to be black though if you recommend it.
I think that it's I was really touched and moved by watching the show, because it represented a part of my friendship with Todd that was based on true conversations that we'd already had, that illustrated the point a little bit better, maybe shed a little more light on it. It made those memories and experiences with Todd richer in that way. So for myself, solid A+.
What?
That's what I got, Todd.
A+. You didn't like it.
Wow.
I did like it. I went back and watched all of them again.
So you didn't like
And
it.
so again, to the point, one of the things that I think why I assigned Blackish in the first place was because I think of any of the people on this podcast who know me the longest and knows me, all the crazy things I did. But even if you know me really well, you can't know my lived experience. Even if you've been with me a ton of times. I mean, ultimately, the world that I live in is slightly different than the one that a lot of people live in. And I've had a lot of conversations in the last few years where people didn't realize that there's an alternate life that people that they assume are just like them. Again, I'm a Seinfeld guy. All of us together have many, many shared interests, but my lived experience in this country is very different than everybody else's. And Blackish is pretty fun to me because, again, I think they take a lot of things over the top. I give the series itself overall, it's not on my must-watch list. I've never been watch it every week person. It makes me laugh because I remember growing up, and it's weird. Actually, it's a weird thing for me in particular in that I didn't grow up in a family with any means. I grew up in a very, very poor family, but I had some really good things break my way, and I landed up as a person who's gainfully employed now as an adult. And so I live a little bit on all sides of the fence of that show. And so when I watch episodes, what I think is pretty funny, there's a couple of them that really move me. I can see that, but it's like until people that I know, again, and necessarily white people, I think black is just for black people. I think a lot of white people might not get it, but if you know somebody who's black, if you watched it, you'd see some of the kind of weird. It's like, again, there's probably like 3 episodes, Nick, when you were talking about one of your old bosses who were like, "You're going up north for the weekend." What's up?
Right.
And then he's like, "I'll tell you one thing, there's no black folks up there."
Yeah, next time you up north,
And I
look around,
chuckle
you can
because
see
I'm
a
like,
black man.
exactly. I'm like, there's like 87 episodes of Blackish that like deal with like, oh, we're going up to the Hamptons. We're going up north. Up north is the Hamptons of Michigan. And it's like, black people are like, I'm going to freaking work. So anyway, just I'm glad that you that actually, Bob, I think I couldn't have asked for a better experience. I mean, ultimately, like I said, it's not one of my A+ must see sitcom shows, but I think it's funny because there are so many things that I think every episode I ever watch, I'm like, I can point to something in my past that's 100% either happened to me, I've been a part of it, or I've seen it happen to someone that I know. And most people wouldn't even believe it if you told them. And then Black Monopoly, though, in my version, I think we're even harder core than they depicted in the show.
Yeah.
I alienated my niece this past episode. I'm still sending her presents because I freaking told. I'm like, I sold a property with the edict. I will sell you this property if you promise me that you will never ever sell anything to your daughter ever. I had that conversation with my freaking brother-in-law.
Yeah, that was the first episode that I watched, and having heard the Black Monopoly story, I was watching this is a great example because I was watching all the episodes with the context of, is this a good show, like just in general, and I had taken the personal, relationship and connection out of it, and I literally made it to the last one before it struck me that there's a much more personal reason why he assigned this to me. So I'm like, I went back and watched all of them again. And the only thing I thought about the Black Monopoly episode was that there's a lot of yelling going on, and that never would have happened in my house. Like, you would have been through. The game would have been over within the first minute if you had been shouting the way those people were shouting.
So what
we shout. And my Mary Quinton has never vowed never to play Monopoly with us ever again.
So what would your grade be had you not had a personal relationship with them?
Just for the show,
Mm-hmm.
Probably would have been a B-. Probably would have been a B-. Because
actually the funny thing,
any context,
Dion Cole.
Yeah.
And by the way, the one thing I will say, I agree. I would, and I think minus is fair. It's probably where I'd put it. Honestly, though, Dion Cole is the best talent on that show. Quite honestly, and if you want to watch his stuff, and that is funny. I think he's way better than Andy Anderson, and he's the leads on that show are really good.
Yeah.
But Dion Cole is amazing.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So, yeah, I liked it a lot. And Nick's pointing at me before we do new assignments. We got a shot sitting here. So, Todd, you got some.
I got one ready.
Bourbon? All right.
I got to go out to the barn to get my whiskey.
I got it.
Whiskey?
Crabby, are you back with us?
Yes, sir.
Here we go.
All right.
Salud.
Nastarovia. Nastarovia.
Sweet.
All
Machu Picchu.
All right. The new assignments for next week. I have drawn Todd. Nick has me. Cory has Crabby. Todd has Nick, and Crabby has Cory.
Oh yeah!
All right, I'm gonna always have to start out so I know if I have to have more time to look for another movie. Bob, have you ever seen Level 16 on Netflix?
Level 16? No, never have.
Well, I mean, have you seen like a Sweet 16? Like,
I've seen a lot of movies with 16 in them.
Okay, Level 16.
Got it.
All right. Whew, that was
All right.
painless. Oh, and I got to think one for Todd. Hold on. So you guys continue.
Well, you got to think of one for Todd, and you got to think of
just Todd.
Just Todd.
Cory lived
You
up
got
to
me out of
his.
the way.
Just
All right,
Todd.
That's fine. Okay. Cory, you got Crabby.
Crabby, you have The Way Down on HBO Max.
Is it The Way Down?
The Way Down. WAY.
Good point.
Thank you.
Well said.
The Way Down.
Todd, you got Nick.
I have and I'm like all over the place. Nick, have you seen Men of Honor?
Todd, hang on. Let's back that up real quick. Don't ever start your pick for Nick
Have you seen?
with
it?
have
Just
you
assume
seen.
the answer.
The answer is always no.
Yeah. So what do you
Sorry,
got?
continue.
So what do you got,
I
Todd?
see Nick reaching for something. What do you got? I have Men of Honor. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't, Todd.
What was that, Todd?
There you go.
Men of Honor?
Metal.
Men of Honor.
Men of Honor.
I haven't seen it either.
Go figure.
Got it. All right. Crabby, you got Cory.
I know. I'm trying to.
If you're looking, I can go first. Because I think it's just you and me left.
Yep, good.
All right. I got Todd. Todd,
Yes, sir.
tell me you haven't seen Peaky Blinders yet.
I haven't.
You got it.
But you know that there's a good
you.
chance I'll watch something different.
I
Like
gave
Sneaky
that
Pete.
to you.
No, you didn't.
I did.
It's the most non-blackish ever.
I
Todd,
told
just
you
to
a
let
million
know.
times to watch it. I'm gonna give it to
Well,
you.
that doesn't mean you gave it to me.
Hey, but Dylan's Irish.
I've
Oh,
had
you're-
that shit
you're
on my
good, then.
Netflix queue for 4 years. So, yeah, you got Peaky Blinders, Todd. And Crabby, that leaves you, sir.
All right. Cory, have you seen The Outpost?
Yes.
Okay. Have you seen Charlie Wilson's War?
No.
Oh, there it is.
Charlie Wilson's War.
That's a good
and
one.
It's I think it's free on Amazon Prime.
Got
You
it.
got it.
Todd, have you seen that?
I have.
You have, yeah.
All right.
Okay. Hold on.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mr. Dillon.
Yes, sir.
I'm trying to think.
Oh, Jesus.
Hold on. There's just a couple that I can think of. Did I give Todd the platform? I know I gave Cory it.
No.
No.
All right. I know Cory.
I watched it.
How come you ask Bob? Can I ask why you asked Bob?
Because Bob's the only one with the computer.
I'm looking
up.
at OneNote right now, and
He's
no one
looking
else
at-
fucking looks at OneNote. So I
we
gotta
don't need
confirm.
Yeah,
four
but you could have
computers
asked. You said, Todd, if I give you the platform.
But clearly, you don't know. You didn't understand the assignment several times. So this is why I'm asking the man that has it up in front of him right now.
Well, not for nothing. The Murder Amongst Mormon. When I did ask a clarifying question, is there an explosion? The whole thing is that's the whole linchpin of the show.
Todd, how many? I think there's probably a movie at least once a month that all of us watch that there's an explosion. I just watched the John Wayne movie where there was an explosion. I mean, there's always an
Exactly.
explosion.
And when I asked,
Not a lot of explosions.
and when I
in John
asked,
Wayne.
is there an explosion? You said, nah, there's no explosion.
But there are explosions in a lot of movies.
That's
True,
well,
true
well,
statement.
That's Crabby
well
logic.
True
stated.
statement.
Yeah.
True statement.
Pretty fair.
Well done.
Crabby logic. My mom never uses the word James except for when she calls me James Donovan
David.
Pappas. James David.
Get him, Crabby.
Pappas.
Get him.
But she never says James. She always says
Cory
James
feels
every
like
time she calls me
personally
James
attacked
David.
today by Todd. You just made fun
You
of me
should,
I gave
because
you
that's
Outpost
crazy,
a
Todd.
plus.
TikTok partnership.
You're lucky I waited this long to attack.
For the love of God.
He's just mad that he's got to watch a third movie because he doesn't understand the assignments.
All right. I think we've got probably
what sounds good to me.
25 minutes left at least.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's do a little lightning round,
Where?
and then we'll close out with pick of the week. Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. So this the first question to the group, and again, these should generally be yes or no answers with a few exceptions, but any conversation that arises from that, totally fine. Doesn't matter how long it takes.
Excuse me.
What's your
Go.
favorite carnival food?
Funnel cake.
Ooh.
Right out of the gate.
Elephant ear.
Yeah.
I don't go to carnivals, but
I don't go to carnival.
soft pretzel would have to be.
Hey, hang on. Can we back this up a little bit?
Yeah.
Because I know they're different, but I feel like an elephant ear and a funnel cake are kind of on like the exact same level. Not in a bad way. Not in a bad way by any means. Are they not?
Kind of cool.
I obviously don't think so, or I wouldn't have said it.
Okay, all right. I'm just saying because like if I go to a carnival or find myself at a carnival,
Aren't both of those things just churros by a different name?
that's what I'm saying. It's close enough. So like if they
It
don't
doesn't
have,
matter.
if they don't have funnel cakes, then I'll get an elephant ear. If they don't have elephant ears, I'm gonna get a funnel cake.
I've
Or
seen them
churro.
both on the menu.
Or a churro.
No, and that's the crazy part is these carnies will only serve one of the two. They don't usually do both.
Yeah, I've seen both.
Well, you found a damn good carnival, sir.
Gibraltar Trade Center every year back in the day.
Hey, Bob, when are you
That
going to
was
go through the
too
rest here?
What's that?
These two are deadlocked on elephant ears and funnel cakes. So when you
What do you want me to do? You want me to jump in?
I'm ready for you to get to me. These guys have both just seen the fact they're saying dessert.
Throw a fucking peanut. Get these guys off
Todd,
course.
you just fucking jump in whenever you want, buddy.
I'm ready. Corn dog.
A horn dog.
Corn dog, baby.
You shouldn't do that at a carnival, Todd.
Corn dog.
I'm gonna give a good answer, Todd, but I'm gonna say similar to Nick. I don't eat food at carnivals.
Jesus Christ.
Bullshit.
No, fuck that. Carnies make that food.
That's right.
Bullshit.
Smell like cabbage.
Circus folk.
Small hands.
That's right.
iPhone or Android? The listeners want to know.
iPhone, obviously.
iPhone.
iPhone.
Android.
Todd, iPhone or Android?
I don't understand the question.
iPhone or Android?
Todd's still on a BlackBerry. Go ahead, move on.
Yes.
All right. Astrology, real or bunk?
True.
In what sense? Like it directly correlates to your life and how your life is already.
I'm just reading the question. You can interpret it however you want. Astrology,
It's true.
real or bunk?
True.
Scientifically true.
That's 2 votes for true.
As something that involves your personal life, definitely bunk.
Bunk.
No, hold on. Thank you, Crabby. Hold on. It's real or bunk. It's a either or answer.
He already gave his answer, I thought. He can't freaking
He
wiggle
gave 2
waffle.
answers. He said real and bunk. You can't do both. It's one or the other.
He said scientifically true. Therefore, he's answered.
Did you hear what he said after that?
That was crazy talk. He's sitting next to Crabby, and why I'm letting him slide. My mom never says James, except for when she says James David Pappas.
No, I never said accept. you added accept.
Cory, you got to pick one.
bunk.
All right. I'm gonna say bunk as well. Nick,
It's really difficult for me not to give an explanation.
no, no one said you couldn't.
Oh, okay. I
thought it was yes or no questions.
The
I
point of
feel
a
like
lightning round was
I know.
Generally,
I feel like that there are a lot of similarities scientifically. I think we're in control of our own destiny. But as far as I'm concerned, I think we have
yeah.
that's not the question. The question was this.
Well,
on the other hand,
you asked a great question, and I clarified it, and then you gave an answer, and I'm like, is that's all you want to say?
Yes.
All right, moving on.
I missed it. What was it?
Doesn't matter. Crabby.
Community corrections in Kalamazoo. I was in an internship, and I moved into a full-time position.
No kidding. Community corrections.
Yeah, so like a halfway house for probationers, not parolees, but for probationers.
Okay. How did you get lined up with that?
I blew my knee out, realized I wasn't going to the NFL, and
Yeah.
my degree was in criminal justice and sociology, and I said, I got to find something.
All right. Fair enough.
Yep.
Todd, your first real job.
The K. Blue Light Special, baby.
The
My
Kmart?
my first. So, do you remember the hurricane that decimated Florida back in the early 90s?
Ivan?
I think so.
Yeah, Ivan. Yep.
Okay.
Yep, I remember it.
So I had interviewed. So upon graduating from college, I'd done a ton of interviews, and I interviewed with a company that a couple people might know the name of, called Bacardi Rum. I thought the interview went really, really well, and I thought I'd landed this job. But after the interview, never heard from him again because Ivan hit. And so my first real adult job, which I count my first job after graduating from college, was at Kmart. I entered Kmart's management program, and and it's funny, out of every Kmart in the United States, because that's what when you get the job, we have the right to send you anywhere. I actually got the job at Kmart in the town where I went to college. So my first real job was the Alma, Michigan Kmart as a management trainee. And I was there for about 6 months during the time that Florida rebuilt Ivan. And I got the call from Bacardi saying, hey, we interviewed you 8 months ago. We'd like to hire you. And so my second job was Bacardi Rum, but first was Kmart.
Nice. Cory.
First real job was working loss prevention at Target.
Target.
Just went in and applied.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay. Upon whose recommendation? How'd you find out about the position?
We'd gone there for years and years. I'd taken trips there with my family. Knew they retail stores had a loss prevention. That was the closest retail store to the house.
Yeah.
And so I figured that's where I was going to start.
All right. First real job was national tech team teaching Ford Motor Company clients about computer software. And I had no idea about computers at all. And a friend of mine had said, hey, I read this article about this dentist from Southfield who opened this company in Dearborn, and they're right on Michigan Avenue. And they're doing this thing, and they're hiring instructors. And I'm like, I don't know anything about computers. And he's like, you could do this. So I called, and they're like, yeah, come in. And did first interview with them, and they're like, okay, but you have a teaching background. So between computers and teaching, you don't need to have both. We can teach you the rest. If you know how to teach, then we can teach you the computers. So let's schedule another interview, and you come back and teach us something. So I had to come back in and do a whiteboard presentation on anything I wanted, and I did How a Bill Becomes a Law from Schoolhouse Rock.
Outstanding.
And I got the job.
Right.
And it was 1994, and they hired me at $23,500 a year, and I was like, I'm fucking rich, bitch.
I'm rich, baby. I'm rich,
I
bitch.
immediately started making plans to move out of my parents' house and get an apartment with my buddy.
Back in the day when you could teach people about computers without knowing a thing about computers.
Yes.
Yeah.
The good old days.
Yeah.
Hurricane Andrew. Hurricane.
Oh, that's what it
Andrew,
was?
not Ivan.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And with that, thank you, everybody. Let's go into pick of the week to close it out. So, Jimmy Pappas, I know you have a pick, and I know it's going to be fantastic. I'm just going to load the entire podcast's weight on your shoulders.
That's a lot of pressure.
And dish it off to you first.
I don't know if it's that.
You
great,
you can pass. It's totally fine.
No, I got it. I just don't know if it's that great. But I'm going to say the pre-made pizzas at Aldi, and all of them. I tried the gluten-free one. I've tried the regular ones, and they're fresh. They're not frozen, and they're $6, and it's probably the best store-bought pizza I've ever had.
So you're not buying frozen pizza. You're not going there, bringing it home, and then making it yourself. You're buying it made in a pizza box and bringing it home and immediately eating it.
No, it's not frozen, but not cooked.
It's
so
like-
you're bringing it home.
Oh, okay. It's not cooked.
Excuse
Yeah.
me. So it's like a DIB pizza.
Take and bake.
Yeah. Dearborn Italian Bake.
Yeah, take and bake, Todd. Yes.
Yep, you got it. Take
Okay.
and bake, and there's like $6, like I said, for a good full 14 or 16-inch pizza, and they're excellent, very very good. And I tried.
From Aldi, you said.
Yep, I want to say like 5 of them, including the gluten-free, and they're
So I
excellent.
shared something earlier this week from Aldi, and I'll be honest with you, I've never stepped foot in an Aldi. I've had Instacart deliver Aldi a couple times, and I thought there were some pretty cool things that they had. And I saw an article that showed if you've never been to Aldi, or if you have and haven't noticed these things, these are specific to Aldi that you need to buy. And almost everything on the list, there are like 25 different things. And I'm like, yes, every one of those. Yes. Every single one of those. I'm like, yes.
Yeah,
And one that I can just bring up right now is street corn dip and street corn tortilla chips. And I'm like, I'm already salivating just hearing about that. So, but we'll talk about it after the show, but it does sound amazing, and I'm going to have to start going there.
And they actually just opened up an Aldi down the street from us. So
Okay, it's enough,
Solid
Cory.
choice.
We know. We like the Aldis. We've already
oh
talked
my
about
God.
it.
Okay.
All right, Todd, what do you got?
Who?
Todd, Dylan. Todd.
Oh,
Vincent,
me.
Osborne, Dylan.
yeah. And thank you for not attacking me on my Aldi pick. I appreciate it, Tom.
You know I love beef. So my pick, and I'm going back to my camping and outdoorsy stuff, but my pick is lightning nuggets. They are
What?
Go ahead, Todd. Sorry.
Todd, we're patiently waiting to hear about lightning nuggets.
I heard all the giggling.
There was no giggling here.
Yeah, the room
There was
was
tons of
split.
giggling.
There was giggling on one side,
There was
and
tons
then,
of giggling.
Oh my
and then
God.
anticipation on the other
Lightning
side. 'Cause
fucking nuggets.
Cory and I leaned more into the microphone as if the microphone we could hear.
Go on.
Yeah, like,
Exactly. Pick of the week. I thought it was pick of the week, where
It
we
is.
highlight things that we say that people should buy. If you have a fireplace, fire pit, wood burning stove, or anything else where you like to light fires, I recommend getting lightning nuggets. They're fabulous little things. I don't even know what they're made of, but of all the things that I've used to start fires, it's the only product that I've ever used where I only use one nugget. I light it with an extended lighter, like one of those little Zippo lighter.
Flame. Okay.
Yep, a little flame, and I only need one. Duraflame makes those little fire starter things in a little paper bag, and you light bag, and it's supposed to start your fire. Many times I have to use 2 or 3 of those, but these lightning nuggets, you can find them on Amazon. They work fabulous. You get a box of 100 for like $22, and guarantee I've started hundreds of fires in my yard or in my home in my burning stove, and I only need one. Great tool. If you're ever starting a fire anywhere, I recommend these lightning nuggets. Thank you.
Todd, are they good for the barbecue as well, or no?
Are they good for what?
Barbecue as well, like as far as like if you were barbecuing with, with wood.
No, I
chips
would.
or
No, I
charcoal?
would. No, I wouldn't use these to start a fire that I was
Okay.
going to cook over. But
Okay.
if you're gonna, if you're gonna go camping, and again, you know how hard it can be to find kindling to start a fire if you're going camping or
I
anything.
got you.
These things are one puck, and it will start your fire for you. Guaranteed, unless you water it down, and pee on it.
So if you want to burn the place down because they've been rats eating the
Oh, very good.
yeah. Highly
Yes.
recommend.
Yes.
Lightning
Yes.
nuggets.
Todd slowly but surely going back every day and placing a lightning nugget right around that
Right.
Kroger.
Right.
Well, and like I
Right
said, I already given my pick of the week. If I've used Solo Stove, but again, sometimes I can't find kindling. I got really big logs I want to use for my fire. Again, I stack them up, make sure there's plenty of air circulation available. No matter how big the logs, whatever you're trying to set to light, these things work great. And from a cost per unit and not having to use multiple of them to start a fire, they're fabulous.
Cool. That's awesome.
Very cool.
Awesome.
That is awesome.
They really shouldn't call them lightning nuggets, though, because I think Crabby and I got a little too excited when you said nugget. So,
It sounded like something they could eat.
yeah, I thought for sure it was going to be an edible product.
Is this made of fish?
I was hoping that was the route it was going to go, but it did not.
Yeah, I'm going to cook my popcorn lobster with it.
Cory,
You bite your fucking tongue, sir.
Cory, one day
It was amazing.
One day, what we'll do is we'll do some under the supervision of Mike. We'll do some fresh hand cut cod and hand dipped, and we'll do some fish nuggets for you, the way they should be.
I would like that.
The way they should be. Yeah.
Yeah, if you could call me that night.
Well,
Yes, sir.
That would
Yes,
be
sir.
great. Okay.
You got it.
so that is that different than foot dipped cod?
Then what?
Foot dip? What?
Yes.
He's
I mean,
playing
it
off
was
the hand.
Yeah.
he
Todd's gonna
stressed
wear 'em
hand
one
dip.
night.
All right. Nick, what do you got?
So for this week, I have from Amazon, as I am a fan. I got a bee in my bonnet about. I've always grown up with a fish tank, and I know winter is always the time that you want to do something like that. And I just had to pull the trigger on it. It's something I didn't want fish that I had to take care of. So, as you can imagine, getting a fish tank and not wanting fish, there's a struggle. But I like the idea of water and having water around me. I like plants, as you guys know. So I bought a 3-gallon. It's by Marineland on Amazon. It's got contoured glass. It's in a cube. It's all inclusive. The entire thing is all one unit. It comes with the LED lights, the filter, everything built into one cube. Beveled corners, and it's only a 3-gallon tank. And I wanted to do, they have these like really cool mini freshwater shrimp that come in like the brightest of reds and blues and sapphire and tiger striped and all that stuff. And I thought nothing would be cooler than actually growing live plants in a small venue and having like a little shrimp colony that when people come over, they can kind of like look at. It's something cool to look at, and they would breed and do all that good stuff. So this is the first step. I got it. It's actually set up upstairs. I have nothing in it yet. But so far, I think it looks fantastic. The lights on it are super cool. There's also an option for a moonlight where it turns all the lights to...
So it's saltwater, right?
Nope, it's all fresh. I've done saltwater before. That's why I was talking about the freshwater shrimp. They die pretty quickly in the saltwater.
I didn't eat freshwater shrimp. I missed that part because I'm like,
Yeah.
shrimp. So I thought saltwater when they're shrimp. So
What's that? I'm sorry.
my bad.
You're
No,
good.
I thought I didn't hear this. I didn't hear the freshwater shrimp. Shrimp.
Yeah.
saltwater shrimp.
So that's what I was trying to angle it towards freshwater. But yeah, so that's what I got. I haven't put anything in it yet, but so far 3,000 5-star reviews on Amazon. It looks pretty cool. It's got a moonlight, and that's it.
Always with
Snails.
the reviews.
Get some snails.
I'm going to. Yeah, I'm going to. It's less cleaning. So
Cory, we haven't hit you yet, right?
No, but
How many 5-star reviews does your pick have?
fucking no, because I don't look at
Cory,
those.
by the way, if and when I get my shrimp, they are shrimp to be looked at, not to be eaten.
We'll see about that.
So
Yeah.
stay
But-
away.
That's one boiling pot away from changing that answer.
Oh, these are so tiny.
8 minutes, that can change.
Would the clam survive in there? If
Yeah,
you ever-
there's actually you can buy baby freshwater clams you can throw in there.
I'm saying the ones that we found though. Or would
Oh,
that
those
be
are
too
long
big?
dead.
Well, I know that now, but
Yeah, they would. Yeah, for sure.
okay, cool. We'll have to find some.
From
more
my
clams then.
experience, clams cannot survive without oyster.
Okay.
I'm glad someone said it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll take that as true. I will take that as true.
Think about it.
The gospel according to Crabby.
Think about it.
Can we do a gospel according to Crabby section every time he's here?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Never pour sulfuric acid on your genitals. James Crabby Pappas. Let's sir.
Pick of the week for me.
Yep.
Apple MagSafe battery pack. If you have an iPhone 12 or above, they sell battery packs now. You can just attach right to the back, wirelessly charge them while you can still put your phone in your pocket, take it with you on the go. Don't have to worry about hooking it up somewhere and leaving it. Gives you 2 full charges.
Oh, that's awesome.
Plugs right in the lightning cable, and then you always have an extra battery pack right in your pocket, attached right to the back of your phone.
Price.
$99.
So
Nice.
for people that aren't aware, Cory and I were going back and forth in regards to, because he just got this last week, and we were going back and forth in regards to if it would only work on Apple products. It's not true. It does work on Android products that have wireless charging capabilities. However, it does not stick to the back like it does to the iPhone.
Yeah, it'll charge anything that has a wireless charging capability. You can lay it on there and use it as a battery pack for that. But yes, for the iPhone, it sticks right to the back and acts like part of the phone while it's on there. So yeah, you get dual use out of it if you really wanted to.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool.
Okay. I'll go. That's fine. So my pick of the week is Elvis Costello. Elvis Costello.
Yes!
Yeah. I
like it.
Whatever it is, I'm in.
I'm 52, and I for whatever reason I missed the Elvis Costello train, and in the past 10 years, I have come to appreciate him at a whole new level. So if you've never listened to Elvis Costello, take a listen. He's been doing music now for like 30 plus years. Back in the 70s, he did an album called My Aim Is True. He did an album called Armed Forces, and he did an album called This Year's Model. Check him out on Spotify. If you've got a Spotify subscription, shouldn't cost you anything. Give him a listen. I'm as a 52-year-old guy, I'm glad I'm sort of discovering all by his own Elvis Costello. So check him out. And with that, that's the podcast for the week.
Great pick.
Thank you, sir. For Nick and Cory and Todd and special guest James Crabby Pappas, this is Bob saying thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week.